Yes, I can't talk, do, and think at the same time.
Why did you switch it to? Why did you switch it? Wait. You switched it to
I did.
video.
You can still smoke.
I can't smoke.
Yes, you can.
I have to just do it.
Huh?
So I'll just have to do it this way.
I still can't hear you. You're not supposed to say it the same way again. You're supposed to speak louder.
I said, I suppose we'll just do it this way.
Stop kicking it.
Why is your laptop turning into a typewriter?
My daughter turned it into one, yes. So,
alright, we wanted to talk today about a few different, what was it, a few different ads or whatever that you have been posting about ever since on the files. We're not going to say the name, whatever. Fuck it. The Epstein files stated that cannabis is something that opens up the mind, and now they're doubling down on that it causes depression and not is a help for depression. And we are here to speak our own personal experiences based on what we've dealt with, especially me, and the things that it's helped me with. So, Jeselle.
There's so much going on over here, and we can barely hear you. Because unfortunately...
Why can't you hear me? What the fuck?
I don't know. I think it's just the laptop. It's okay. This is where that elevator music comes into handy. So basically, the reason why we wanted to talk about that, it's not ads, it's just the propaganda that's posted on media, when you go on social media. It just somehow comes across, and ever since I saw it, you said you're not going to say the files?
No, just say the fucking files, I don't care.
The Epstein files. Yeah, it came out in the Epstein files that the reason the whole marijuana thing is because it makes it harder to manipulate and to control those who smoke marijuana compared to when they're drinking those who drink alcohol
that are intoxicated with alcohol. Yeah,
it's easier to manipulate and all of that. So when that came out just a few months ago, less than a few months ago, and just a few days ago, I seen something stating that that marijuana doesn't help with anxiety and this and that.
That's a joke.
And that right?
That's a joke.
When I read that, I was questioning why is it all of a sudden they're coming and posting these studies that it doesn't help with anxiety and this.
I was saying it didn't help with anxiety and this and that,
PTSD and all of that.
Yeah, PTSD and that it can actually create and cause depression. I remember seeing that it said something about that it can create and cause depression to take the antidepressants.
My thing with that, it doesn't make sense because now they're trying to manipulate those that they can manipulate into saying, hey, this doesn't help, we need to keep it outlawed. And because those who do smoke it, those who do have
need it,
have the
PTSD,
healing needed for the healing processes,
traumas, all kinds of stuff. Cancer patients, you name it. The healing properties of this weed that they want to call it, this plant. Like if we really look into it, all the things that the Big M corporation has been wanting us to get rid of um, with the certain weed killer sprays, and they deemed all these weeds dandelion. What is dandelion good for? It helps with cleanse your liver and all kinds of other things. That's considered a weed. Anything that wasn't,
I think I ate it.
they turned it into a commercial of, oh, let's make your outside look beautiful. Why are you laughing?
Because this motherfucker goes, I think I ate a dandelion.
So if it has benefits, then
The last dandelion.
All I can think is
Carl. But anyways,
oh, that's
the
all
big-
I hear. I'm sorry.
but this big M corporation has been in it, and it's the the puppeteers of there have been stating that these plants are deeming them as weeds, and have been wanting us and having us literally poison ourselves with their chemicals to kill these things that are actually healthy and beneficial and actually help us. There's weeds out in my yard that literally will help with pain, that are a painkiller. And we aren't taught these things. We're taught to go to the other route, the pharmaceutical routes. Doctors are not taught these things. They're taught pharmaceuticals.
Well, yeah, especially you have the doctors ever since it took over the world back in a couple centuries ago.
Well, yeah, and this is the biggest thing. We have had multiple, I don't know, probably at least 5 or 6 guests on the psilocybin stuff, in the different ways that it can be used, and other psychedelics along with the cannabis. And I'm going to just put out there my own experience. Want to know what helped me get off of meth? It was cannabis that helped me get off meth. It helped keep my seizures under control to the point to where I was able to stop doing meth. And there's a lot of other people that are using it in the recovery community, and I know that we might hear, oh, well, if you're using this, just trading one for the other. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's not trading one for the other. It was literally...
are saying shit like that, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say this, and that could be a bitch, and I could be wrong, but a lot of those who are saying that you're just trading one for the other, those are the same people who think it's a drug.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those are the same people that are brainwashed and that will go out after work every night and have a drink, but yet it's so wrong to come home and take a hit off of a bowl. You know what I mean? And that right there.
Them saying that it's a gateway.
And them saying that it's a gateway. The first drug that I did was meth, not weed, people. And I'm not the only one. People are willing to do the drugs that they're willing to do. They're willing to experiment with what they're willing to experiment. It doesn't matter where they start. If that willingness is there, it's there. And it just means that we just got compiled in with those because of the way it was. But it was literally the reason why, if you do the history on it, the entire reason why it was deemed bad and all that, and the weed rage and this and that, was because you had FBI agents that were going to lose their jobs, so they had to find a new demon.
Go ahead.
It makes zero sense, because here they're saying that it's illegal, but as long as you get a medical card, then blaze away. So
here in Texas, you can't even get a medical card. You only can get I don't know, the laws have been changing because of the crap that they're pulling right now. But you'll get put on a directory. You get put in a directory in Texas. So like, you can't even, like, I qualify for medical marijuana in every which way. We all know this. But in Texas, I can't even get that. I can't get that help. And then they're trying now to take away the hemp, which hemp isn't the same, but it does help.
Yeah. Well, and then let's bring in psilocybin or just psychedelics along on that scale too. They're now trying to say that it's equal. It won't do it, or it will do as much as antidepressants, or that antidepressants basically can do the same thing. And
that's funny because on every side of a mushroom, there definitely is not a may cause suicidal thought waiver. You know, I mean, mushrooms are scary because you never know what kind of, you have to have somebody that's a professional that knows what they're doing and knows what mushrooms are and this and that. You need a professional. But it definitely, I, as a person that was on antidepressants for multiple different ones for many years, people to get off of that antidepressant or these antidepressants it was harder than getting off of meth.
Because of all the shit they put in it.
Because my bones, my joints, everything inside of me ached for months.
They're literally advertising like oh there's like medication now. It's like, oh, is your one antidepressant ain't working? Well, here's another one. Here's a whole another one.
But then it says may cause suicidal thoughts. Every single one of them. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them. And then that's the other thing about like seizure medication. Seizure medications typically are antidepressants as well. They are a double. So, you know, I was on, my seizure medication was an antidepressant as well. So to get off of these things, compared to, and I'm not trying to minimize anybody's experiences with getting off of anything. I'm just talking about my own personal experience. But I went through months where my bones, literally, my bones ached getting off of that stuff.
Yeah, well, and we have several people come onto our show and speak about how psilocybin therapy has helped them. How it
has saved their lives.
Exactly. I, posted something and it flat out, I have people, my own friends that I even had no idea that they have gone down that road and, and are speaking about their experiences and their healing journey and how it's helped them through their critical, like their clinically depressive, that couldn't be treated.
Well, what's really funny is they're literally willing to shock depression, electroshock depression out of people, but they're not willing, and I'm not joking in this. I'm not kidding in any way, shape, or form. For people, they use electroshock therapy for people with depression in hopes that they can shock it. I don't know exactly the reasons why they do it, but they supposedly found some kind of helpful. I don't understand how that works. To me, I think that you're putting trauma on top of trauma, but that's my own personal opinion. But they're willing to electroshock therapy people out of depression, but they're not willing to let them smoke and be happy or have these magical awakening experiences for this depression. Like, you're willing to cause harm, literally,
Marijuana's cheaper than a therapist.
Well, I'm not saying that people don't need therapy either, because you know.
I do think people. I do agree with
therapy.
therapy.
Is very, very, very important, and the mixture between using the things and along with people that know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, and knowing how to. Now, there are people that have done it on their own. We do know some of those people that were able to do it. I don't recommend it. We don't recommend it. Like, if you're going to go through trauma stuff, we think, I personally think that you should have somebody there that knows how to handle you and in that environment to make sure that you get the most out of it. That's my personal opinion.
Or at least help put you in a safe environment. Having somebody to be with you and give you a safe environment to help to get through your traumas. It's very beneficial.
There are people that are trained and you know, and know what they're doing and that have been doing it for quite some time to be able to walk you through certain things and stuff like that. I do not believe that you should just go throw a whole bunch in your mouth and just go freak out somewhere. That's not what we're saying. That is not how you do this. You
well,
know
he said marijuana. He didn't say anything about psilocybin.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Well,
no.
I wasn't completely ruling out therapy. I was just saying it is cheaper.
But it's not a source of therapy.
It's not a source of therapy, but it is a source of
calming you like anxiety.
Instead of putting more chemicals into your body, because our body's got chemicals in it already that it makes.
Yeah.
So instead of putting more chemicals from an outside source into your body, we have basically like the same systems. We have like a system for marijuana.
We do. I feel like we have a system for anything that's a natural product.
Natural, exactly.
Because we are made of the earth.
Of the earth. They were made, and
a lot of these other things are chemical compounds combined to make something that's not meant for our bodies. It should not. That for some people, yes, they may need it because it gives the right chemical compound that they need for their brain, for their hormones, whatever it is. But for others, there's just a man-made chemical in there that's just not meant for us.
And everyone's different. Not everyone's going to react to it the same.
Exactly.
FDA approved or not.
Well, I can tell you that I tried committing suicide way many more times when I was taking pills than I ever did smoking marijuana.
Let me point out something that he also just said. FDA approved or not. If you go look back, anything that is a natural product, that is natural not FDA of approved. The ground, it is not FDA approved.
Yeah.
Well, now, it's also only a drug can only a drug can diagnose. This is the funniest part. Only a drug can diagnose, treat, or prevent a disease. That is what the FDA rule is. That's what the drugs are. Only a drug can diagnose. Well, if a drug can diagnose, then why do we have doctors? A diagnosis needs to come from a doctor. But if you look on the FDA thing, it does state that.
And that's that. And more people are opening up their eyes to these approvals, because if you look at our peanut butter, and when they test the products, they're finding.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna gross people out, and
say it, dude. Say it.
They are finding rat droppings and
have been for years. And there's a certain amount. Yeah, there's a certain amount. You're allowed to have a certain amount of mice droppings that literally cause the
Black Plague.
Yeah, world, like cut our human population in half at certain points from these things, but yet you can't smoke a plant. because that's dangerous.
Can we name brands or no?
No.
Okay, never mind. Because there, like she said, there is a peanut butter that.
Well, the FDA and they allow a certain amount, like in these factories, but when you look at how our food is handled, the living food that the cattle and the chickens and all of that stuff, if you look how it is and all of that stuff and what they're given and this and that, it just doesn't it's like this isn't making sense. Why are we doing it like this?
So this is insane, and I don't know where I got this from. I want to say I got this from a teacher that was not, like, she went vegan after she found out the industry, and lost a shit ton of weight and everything. She was an amazing teacher. I loved her, and off the wall. And she's kind of the reason why I kind of kept my own brain and my own mind. She introduced how animals are treated in the farm world.
I love how we went from psychosyllabus and marijuana to the animals.
It's us. It's ADD. If people are gonna fucking follow,
I know.
ADHD at its finest, right? So she went down this whole thing about how we watched these animals be treated, and people were sneaking into these what I call concrete farms, and treating these animals so horribly. And she goes, it's absolutely horrific, and she goes, it made me a vegan. And
don't they also give chickens like certain chemicals or hormones or whatever to grow like
faster
from chick to adult to slaughter within days or something like that?
Yeah,
like it in an insane. I remember you telling me about that back then.
Yeah, they literally they inject chicken with so many hormones that it makes them grow faster, and then build the meat up to where it's a regular chicken breast is not supposed to be that fat. That's not normal. And that it's just to produce more. There's a certain company that uses baby chicks for their nuggets.
Ew, I didn't know that.
Especially their males.
Huh?
Especially their males.
Well, because when I've learned this because I have chickens, you hatch more males than you do females. You get way more roosters than you do, and rooster meat tends to be a lot more, a lot tougher. Rooster meat is tougher, not as tender as hen meat. So that makes a lot of sense. But ew, I'm eating little tiny roosters when I'm little baby rooster chicks.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is now, but this was when I was a freshman in high school. I was learning these things, and so it's been like 15 years, and so but we were learning all these things, and the trauma. So something that I learned was, and I don't know how true this is, and a lot of spiritual people might believe me and might go, no, you might have a point. The trauma that's induced on these cattle and on these animals as they're slaughtering them, is something that is in our meat, and then we're eating that trauma. I'm not saying
we
not
are.
to eat meat because I like my meat.
No. We eat our chicken, we eat our meat. We're no different from anybody else. But we're kind of stuck
the
in
way
these.
it's done is very brutal. It's not humane.
I don't know exactly how it's done in the slaughterhouses, but either way,
I can literally tell you exactly word for word. That shit is embedded in my brain. So when I bring it up, it pops up in my head every once in a while. Hence, right now, and That shit, I can tell you
Tell
exactly.
it. I don't care.
Okay, I'm so sorry for your listeners, but I hope you're curious.
Whatever, they know us. We talk about all kinds of shit.
This is gonna be off the wall for them though, because we normally we went from mental health to this. But it is partially mental health.
But it
because
is part of the mental health
body.
because who's to say that that's not affecting our bodies and our mental mind? It
Exactly.
can.
Somebody wants to research that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happens is that they take the cattle prods, and this is what they do. In what I've seen, I don't know how it's across the board. This is just one specific thing I've seen, and that was recorded.
One specific place. You don't know if it's like this across the board. Okay.
So I'm not saying this is not across the board.
Don't say who it is or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. So what I watched was that they literally took a cattle prod to the head of the cow and to knock it out, but it was still, to try to knock it out, but it doesn't work as well. And then it's slitting their throat while they're hanging upside down. And all you see is them spinning because they're hanging. And they're just spinning around. And it's absolutely horrifying to watch them because it's just...
Well, especially if they're not knocked out.
Exactly. But there's some where they were just slipped right across... And you're watching these people do it, and it's like they have no remorse. And maybe they do, and it just doesn't show. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
You just couldn't be one of those people.
No, absolutely not. And then it's going, well, one day you might have to just end up doing it, Jeselle. And it's going, well, I guess I'm going to be vegan then.
Well, if we
like
end up having our
job,
compound, we're going to be raising our own meat.
So
You both said something at the same time, so I cannot listen to both.
What did you say, Andre?
I said, when a job tends to become tedious,
I'm just saying that's not something I could ever even I couldn't put myself in that position, period. Now you have your butchers, your actual farmers who grow their own cattle, and then you have your butchers who know how to do all of that, especially like here in Texas and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just it led up to the trauma being induced on the animal's body, and then here we are eating the meat.
That's where that whole chemicals that are being released at the end of their life trauma.
Exactly, where I feel like when you get butcher meat, and that's why the quality is really, really high, and a lot of people like going through the butchers, is because it's the process, I don't believe maybe as brutal, or their life isn't in a concrete, like, 4x4 fucking room, if not smaller, where they're just in a metal,
ridiculous.
Where these cows are living on farms and eating grass all day long, and where that also has a play, their livelihood, because you have to grow these
how they
animals.
live their entire life. Well, it's been proven. Okay, so your point is on animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're 100% correct on that. Like their quality of life, and because I notice with my chickens, if I make my chickens happier, I have to constantly be on my feet to make my chickens happier because they produce more eggs and even healthier eggs.
Mm-hmm.
They're more nutritious. But it has been proven that with plants, tomato plant, like they put like tomato plants, I can't remember what plant, I think it was tomato plants, but they put tomato plants into this room, and what they would do is every hour or whatever, they would have a group of people come in and surround the tomato plant. And why are you laughing at me?
I was laughing at Andre.
I'm just yawning.
Because I was going to tell him, I'm sorry we're too boring for you.
Oh, but anyways, so they surround this tomato plant and they give it good energy, right? They give it good energy. And then they have another plant, a tomato plant that they do nothing with. And then they have another one that they go and they give it bad energy. They say bad things to it, negative things. They state negative things around it. Cuss at whatever the whatever it is. And that it showed that the tomato plant that people came in and actually like tended to it, talked to it, and gave it good energy was not only did it produce better and was a healthier plant, and this is a plant, people, it also produced more nutritious food. So if a plant, which is living, which is still living, it's alive. So
yes.
if that works for a plant, well, what do you think it's going to do for here we think the plants don't have brains or whatever. They possibly do. But, it's definitely, hey, I love the smell of the grass screaming in the morning. But anyways.
What?
I said
Grass
I love the
screams?
smell of grass screaming in the morning, yes.
Fresh cut grass.
Fresh cut grass, yes. That's the grass screaming. Warning everybody else around that there's danger.
Run!
Yeah.
You're next.
But but if it's that way for a plant and that system, what makes us think that it's any different for animals and humans? Like, it's that way for humans.
So, oh my god, I have so many tangents in my head. What the fuck?
we need a series called Tangents in My Fucking Head.
Seriously, because another one popped in my head, and that was like women weren't in part of like studies until like in 1990 or something like that. Like we weren't part of women weren't part of studies. So everything that is being given to us or put in our bodies only has
it's all based off of men.
Like 36 years of fucking hold on. Actually, more like 40. Apparently, I don't know how to do my math. But of no studies. Like, we don't have very many studies on us. And so here we are, just taking whatever we want. And our bodies, we are complex. But I feel like our complexity is not, there's more to us.
Women? Absolutely.
Yes. And but there's that whole tangent there. But where were we? Where was my point going? Where the fuck was I starting this from?
I don't know. You said something about you have so many tangents. So that's
I do.
Where
I have so many tangents, and
I do not need to drink coffee right now. I'm trying to drink coffee.
Okay. Well, back to marijuana, and all I wanted to say was, the fact of how far they're willing to go for this one thing, and yet at every store, every corner, we have access to alcohol.
Oh,
and cigarettes, the nicotine, which
the things that absolutely will kill you.
They want to, like I said, they're going as far as whatever to ban it off the shelves or whatever, make it harder for people to get a hold of, but yet there's fatalities that happen with alcohol, especially when it comes to somebody choosing to operate a vehicle
under the influence. Yeah,
and putting not only somebody else's life in jeopardy but theirs as well, and it's more addictive on top of that, and
absolutely
it's just reachable.
Well, and then my thing on it is why is it okay? Well,
are you having a tangent surge?
clearly.
She's having her tangents are having tangents right now. Okay.
My biggest problem with alcohol.
Tanception.
Shut up. My biggest problem with alcohol and these studies that we apparently are having done, I don't feel like these studies are as accurate and as clear as these put.
No, they're
because there's so
not.
many things that they're saying, oh, they're driving under the influence. This accident happened because they had marijuana in their system. When it was actually, they had alcohol in their system too, but they want to just blame the marijuana because it's so quick to, oh, well, it was a drug, so they were under the influence. When you take a...
Well, you can have marijuana in your system
driver.
and not be high.
Exactly.
Yeah, marijuana stays in your system for a much longer time because we actually have it in us naturally too.
But if you take a drunk driver and then you take a person who is under the influence of marijuana, and you have an alcohol, alcohol and marijuana, and
they're two totally different things.
Two completely different things. I'm sorry, but
no, we're not saying drive under the influence of marijuana.
No,
anybody, we're not saying drive under. We do not drive under the influence. Period. There's plenty.
Stay home.
Huh?
Stay home. Stay home.
There's so many other things out there that you can do other than freaking drive under the influence.
Shares and
there's call a fucking friend. I don't give a shit. Do not drive under the influence of anything. Period.
The best you can do.
That is my stance.
The best you can do is, like she said, at home. Get your liquor, whatever. Come home, and enjoy that way. And like you said, if you're gonna make the choice to go to a bar or somewhere else where it's where you have access to, then yes, phone a friend.
Just wait a little while. It goes. Your body metabolizes it so much faster.
I think using the driving under the influence was the wrong example. More like let's go with something more of the just functioning a fucking phone. As simple as that. Let's functioning a phone. You take somebody who the brain operation is completely different.
Yes, it absolutely is.
A person who is under the influence of marijuana is going to talk more clearly. They might be spewing some crazy ass shit out there because their brain has just opened up.
They're out there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have somebody who's the person who's under the influence with alcohol. They're slurring their words. And then they might be spewing some crazy shit too because but theirs just doesn't make as much sense compared to somebody who's under the influence of marijuana.
Also, I just want to point out, out of my own experiences in my life, alcohol tends to bring the anger of a person out. Tends to bring the mad or the hurt or the damage of the person out while they are intoxicated. Whereas with cannabis, you're totally in a different mindset. There's the mindset, the mind frame, everything is completely different. Yeah, you definitely don't see no motherfuckers hitting a joint and then yelling at somebody for something. Unless it's not passing it. You know what I mean?
When I was on the social media and I was talking about the anxiety thing and how it doesn't help with anxiety and all that, you read the comments and everybody was like, it sure as fuck keeps me from beating somebody's ass.
Exactly. Whereas alcohol is an inhibitor. It helps bring out the anger and our trauma side and our fear side and our low frequency part of us. It brings out the low frequency in us, whereas in cannabis brings out a higher frequency.
And it's a shame that the thing that literally kills you faster is what's legal.
Right? Well, and let's just say we'll just take. You look at somebody like me, okay, who's got head injury after head injury after head injury. PTSD after PTSD after PTSD from different traumas that have happened throughout my entire existence. You know, and then you throw in life and all of its wonderful things that it likes to do to you. You know, just stress. Life is stressful. Living is stressful. You have all of these things, and so now in my own body, I've got this horrible chemical combination going on. What has helped me is with that horrible chemical combination that just goes on in my head, because like we said before on another show, the bartender or our chemist is always up there waiting. What?
I'm sorry. He was smacking his lips, and it
I
was
had
annoying.
something stuck in my tooth that was annoying me.
And it caused him to smack his lips, and it really pissed me off. It was right there in my ear.
Sorry.
Much apologies.
It's okay. I don't even remember what I was saying. It's not fine. I think that
let's conclude this episode.
You know why people don't beat people's asses when they're high on weed? It's because they forgot that they were even mad at them in the first fucking place. They're like, oh yeah, I was mad about that.
Earlier to when you said, alcohol bringing out a demon in somebody, I grew up around people that have done that.
Yes. It brings out, it definitely doesn't bring out a healed side.
No.
Alcohol does not amplify your healed side. That is the most for sure thing I can say about it.
I know from experience myself too.
Exactly. We've all had our personal experiences with plenty of people throughout our lives to show us that, hey, alcohol doesn't bring out our healed side, people.
No.
No matter what you think, no matter what
it's
you
always
think
dark.
that it's... Yeah, it does not bring out the light in us. That is for sure. It magnifies our hurt, our pain, and our traumas.
So, to conclude this episode...
What's wrong? Okay.
To conclude this episode, don't drink and drive. Don't drive high and... Hold on.
Don't drive under the influence. Period.
At all, whatsoever.
Under or while. Because there's DWI, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
right.
whatever. Yeah, you're right.
Whatever. Along
Same
all of
shit.
it. Don't do it in your car. Just do it at home. Whatever. Anyways.
And if you are out and about, call somebody. Call a friend. Use Lyft. It's the 2026. Like, come on.
Like, really, for reals. Use the technology that you fucking got, people.
And on the end of this episode... and to end it with that...
We believe that...
What are you adding on now?
These natural plants help with our mental health. Fuck off. And your fucking tea kettle shit.
Look, tangent.
And we believe that if you are in a mental health problem, sorry, mental health, you need help with your mental health.
I think you need help.
I am so sending this to Pete.
Fuck. If you need help with your mental health, seek it. There are options out there.
We are serious. We do mean this and all even though we don't sound it or look it. We are being very true and honest.
This is the dark humor we speak of.
what my wife is trying to say.
If you're having troubles with your mental health, seek help, reach out. There are others that are willing to listen, even if it's just a friend. You are worth everything, and you're here for a reason.
Fuck you for even being able to get all that out.
I thought I saw some smoke.
Yeah, no, there was some smoke billowing from her head.
You know what? I have an excuse for my brain, damn it.
So do I.
Fuck!
You need to go in there and flip over your tangent. It's burning on one side.
Apparently so. I don't like this. It's picking on me. I hope you choke on your spit.
Alright, you guys, this is Looking Through the Glass. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us on our Facebook or our TikTok. We have more platforms coming. When we get there, we'll let you know. You can reach us also at our email, lookinthrough34theglass@gmail. I said that right? At gmail.com. I hope I said all of it. I might have missed part of it. I don't know. It just kind of flew. So if not, listen to one of our other podcasts. You'll see it. We appreciate you. And I guess thank you for listening to this one. Till next time.
Bye, y'all.
If even they get through it at this point.